Howdy, folks. I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for kicking my sister out for bringing gluten into our gluten-free kitchen? And there are some content warnings on this one. This does involve restricted eating due to medical conditions and food anxiety. My daughter is on the more severe end of celiac. Any cross-contamination would set her back for weeks. It has taken us years to get her properly diagnosed and treated. And at 10 years old, she is now underweight and has severe anxiety about food. She will not eat if she feels it's unsafe, and it's hard for me to blame her. Our house has both a kitchen and a kitchenette in the basement, complete with a full set of pans and utensils. Our main rule for the house is that there is absolutely no dairy, gluten, or seafood to be kept or cooked in the kitchen. Our oldest son is allergic to seafood and my wife is lactose intolerant. The kitchenette is for the items containing those ingredients. My sister and her kids had to move in with us for personal reasons. They live in the basement bedrooms. And when they moved in, we very clearly explained this rule to them and why. It took less than a week for us to find a box of pasta in the kitchen. We explained the rule and moved it. She was apologetic. A month later, my daughter comes to us in a panic because my sister was making fried chicken in the kitchen. My sister was apologetic but insisted that she needed the kitchen because the kitchenette was too small. It felt harsh, but we moved all of the food into the basement, threw out every single pan and utensil that she may have used, and deep cleaned the kitchen. These incidents making the kitchen no longer 100% guaranteed safe has made her regress in therapy. We are working on it, but unfortunately right now it's so bad again that we have to feed her exclusively takeout from the one gluten-free restaurant around unless we want her in inpatient care. Which takes us to last Saturday. I get home and my daughter is having the worst panic attack I have ever seen. My mom and sister were in the kitchen making an entire Sunday dinner. Spaghetti, mozzarella sticks, garlic bread, the works. I lost it. I ended up absolutely screaming at them that they were ruining my life and had threatened my daughter's life for the last time, and I had had it. I threw out all of the food into the yard and told my sister that if she really cared that little about her own niece's life, then she could get out of my house. Now my mom is mad at me for kicking my sister and her kids out over a food allergy. But I don't care. She can even leave the kids here if she absolutely needs to, but I'm done with her. We have one rule, one. My wife agrees with me, but thinks that I should give them one last chance and now just not allow my sister to bring any food into the house. My mom can't take her in and she can't afford rent anywhere. So she would be homeless if we don't let her stay. I'm not sure that we're in the wrong here. Edit. And the possibility of inpatient care has come up before and has been fully investigated by her medical team. If she went into inpatient care, she would be eating takeout from the same restaurant there as well, and they would not be able to safely cook for her in their facilities. The only true difference is that it would be more monitoring and not being at home. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. The sister had more than enough tries, and this is not forgetfulness. This is recklessness.
Yeah, I mean, this is at a certain point malicious. And I understand that the sister wants to have a nice Sunday dinner. And also, like, what's up with the mom and the grandma, essentially, right? Like, she's willing to put her own granddaughter at risk because for what? For why? So there's a huge amount of issues here. OP has given the sister 3 chances. That's 2 more chances than most people would have given her, right? And I mean, I understand, like, the pasta box was probably not that big of a deal to her. She probably didn't realize how big of a deal this was. But she should have gotten the clue after the second time when you threw out all of the pots and pans. Like, there's no clearer message than that. Doing a deep clean and throwing out pots and pans because of how afraid you are. She should have realized it at that point that, oh, this is big.
And like how the kid was having panic attacks, these 2 incidents, and
Yeah.
she's just like going on with her cooking like no big deal.
Yeah. And that's also a problem. Like, she just seems very callous towards her niece. And that's very problematic. And this also seems like the kind of person, just the vibe I get here, who would maybe potentially be like, try feeding the daughter some kind of gluten food because she doesn't think it's real or something like that.
Yeah, that's the vibe, I guess, that she doesn't take it seriously.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, well, it just makes her a little sick or something.
Yeah.
Like,
all exposure therapy her better type of thing, which is absolutely nonsense. So, yeah, I don't think OP's the jerk. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk. She may pick a direction and F off in it. How dare she stay in your home and risk your child's health? This was no accident. She and your mom, you're letting her off light when she deserves just as much blame, clearly and openly, knowingly, repeatedly defied the rules and endangered your daughter. She already burned up all of her chances. If she stays, this will just happen again, not the jerk. Alright folks, we have an update. This is the one we read the other day. Update 2, am I the jerk for making my daughter share her presents with my stepdaughter? And basically the rundown on that one was they were having a joint birthday party and OP forced her daughter to share her presents with her stepdaughter. When she refused, she grounded her and forced her anyways. So here's an update to that. First of all, I want to clarify that I didn't answer many questions in the comments because seeing the number of replies, I decided to make an update once the matter calmed down. I admit and accept that I haven't been the best mom to Amy this past year. I love my daughter, but I always wanted a bigger family and was kind of desperate to make it work. I also fully accept that I often favored Nora as she wasn't as accepting as Amy, and I wanted her to recognize me as her mom's partner or stepmom. I talked to my wife and she agrees that I forced too much on the girls to share and being sisters to the point of being ridiculous with if both of them aren't invited, neither of them goes rule. At first she was okay with Amy including Nora on her friends group as she was always very shy and we didn't want her to be alone. But with the rule I made, it basically made Amy Nora's babysitter instead of an older sister. In fact, I didn't know this. Amy went to her crying the night of the party after I took away her presents, saying that even though she loves them both, I pushed her too hard to give up her past life in favor of our blended family, and I'm unfair and she doesn't feel that I love her anymore. This made me cry. I really thought that we were a happy family and things were fine. I thought my daughter would trust me to tell me anything, but I pushed her away with my actions. After calming down, I talked to Amy. I begged for her forgiveness and promised her that I would do things right and fair from now on. She forgave me fairly quickly. I feel like I don't deserve her, and I also apologized to Nora for the party and making her feel uncomfortable. She was more upset. All of this favoritism kept her from forming a close relationship with Amy. Jenna talked to her and she decided to forgive me too. I'm proud that my girls found the place in their hearts to give me a second chance, and according to some advice that I read in the comments, we're starting to make the changes. We're getting Amy to move in the basement. Since the house is small and there are only 2 rooms, she chose it. We'll throw Amy her own party next month. She wanted, Nora didn't want to have one, and needless to say that if both of them aren't invited, neither of them goes rule no longer exists. I don't know if this is what you expected. From the comments, most people expected Amy to go live with my parents or go no contact with me in the future. So this didn't happen. I'm going to start therapy in a few days and work on my problems and hopefully be a better mother and wife for my family. Even if the comments were a bit harsh, I appreciate the interest and the help. Alright folks, I think this was kind of a positive outcome, to be quite honest. I think that this was a good step in the right direction. What do you think?
Yeah, well, it's good that this post forced her to take a good hard look at her family life because it sounds like she hasn't been listening to her daughter for a very long time. She's been kind of assuming that if my daughter's not constantly screaming and crying, we're a happy family. And the daughter has kind of been forced to bottle up a lot of emotion. So I'm glad that Amy is finally going to be able to hopefully be a more equal part of the family.
Exactly. I think this is a really great step in the right direction. I think you nailed it on the head. So Good luck, OP. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I have some tea. Amber has some tea, surprisingly. And we also have jokes. Do you have a joke?
I have your joke from earlier.
I made a joke earlier.
Yeah.
What joke?
Do you want to hear your joke from
Sure,
earlier?
I'll hear my joke.
This is a little bit of a paraphrase. What do you call a dairy farm?
Oh, a dairy farm? I see. That was just a very silly joke. That was an ill-formed joke.
Well, yes. Barnes and Noble, yeah.
Yes, Barnes and Noble, exactly. Oh my goodness. And I have mint tea. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Don't forget, on Friday, we do have a live stream. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.